Alright, so I just woke up. I don't know what time it is. I was gonna go get a shower first, but then I was like, you know what? If I don't do this, then I'm probably not gonna do it later. So, UFC 325 is this weekend. And we got the card pulled up. I'm gonna go over my picks and all that. Um, I'm gonna be honest though. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't have the time to do. Shut up. To do any tape watching for this card. You know, I've been really busy and I've had to do this and that and dude, shut up. So I haven't done any tape for this card, but when we get to the main card, it don't matter. Because, I mean, I know everyone on the main card. I know their fights by heart. I know what they look like. I know everything. It's just these prelim guys. Obviously, I'm going to take Aaron Toe in this matchup, if that's how you say his name. He is pretty good. I don't remember really who Nam Sari is, but I'm just going to go with Aaron Toe I'm going to go by knockout. Why not? Moving on. Solan Grangbo versus Lawrence Liu. I don't know who either of these guys is. You know that that's the issue that I'm running into with this video, because there's a lot of guys that I didn't get time to watch any tape. So I have no idea who's gonna win, but I'm gonna go with Lawrence Liu just because. Okay, I know who Nakamura is. I think I remember doing something before for him. Sebastian, damn. Australian. Okay. They're both 0 feet 0 inches. 145 pounds. Okay. Very small guys here. Don't know how this is a featherweight bout. I don't know. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna trust Sazale to get it done in his home country of Australia. That's what I'm gonna trust in. Moving on to Sangwook Kim versus Dom Marfan. I remember Dom Marfan. Wasn't he in the? I think he was recently in the Contender Series. Yeah. Dom Marfan. I think he was in the Contender Series recently. I'm gonna go with Dom Marfan because his name sounds very, very familiar. Okay, here we go. Khan Offley versus Yi Zha. Okay. I'm gonna. I don't know who I'm taking here. What are Yi Zha's most recent fights? So Yi Zha beat. Yeah, I mean, come on, Weston Wilson. Come on. He lost to. Okay. Oof. Damn, lost to, what's his name? Dung Hyung Lee or something? I'm going with Khan Offley. I'm gonna go with Khan Offley here. Khan Offley's he's a pretty decent grappler, pretty impressive grappler. Took the back of Ricardo Ramos, was it, in his last fight, and just held on until he got the submission. KO'd by Marion Santos, but Marion Santos is very good. And Khan Offley can trade on the feet. I don't think his chin's that bad. He just got chinned by Marion Santos. So I'm gonna go with Khan Offley here by submission. I'm gonna go submission over Yi Zha. Khan Offley. Moving on. Jonathan Mikhailov versus Oban Elliott. I'm gonna go Jonathan Mikhailov. Oban Elliott's just not that good. At least not in comparative to what we were hoping he'd be when he got here. And then he KO'd. What's that dude's name that went to a split decision somehow against Jack Della Maddalena? what is his name? Whatever. I know who I'm talking about. He knocked out that one dude, and then we thought he'd be decent, and then I don't think he's won since. Whereas Jonathan Mikhalaf, dude, has some really nasty kicks, man. His kicks, like to the body, are so lethal, bro. Yeah, he's coming off win against Kevin Jusay in his debut. Which Kevin Jusay is not good, but regardless, Jonathan Mikhalaf, he's a really good striker, and he has really good kicks. Okay, it's still loading, so just be patient. I don't remember too much about his fight against Kevin Jusay, other than how nasty his body and head kicks were. But he's very tall, rangy, and he flicks stuff out there so well, and they look like they do a lot of damage. And Oban Elliott just has been underwhelming so much recently. So I'm gonna just trust in the Australian hometown boy again and go Jonathan Mikhalaf over Oban Elliott. It's just, it's just what it is. Jacob Malkoun versus Torres Finney. I'm going Jacob Malkoun. I very much dislike Torres Finney, and I thought he lost his last fight. I think you should score that fight to Robert Valentin, because Torres Finney didn't do anything. He was holding him up against the cage, and the rounds that they gave to Torres Finney. By the way, what was that one ref? One of the refs did score at 30-27 to Robert Valentin, and I think we need more of him. I forgot his name, though. But the other two judges, the rounds that they were scoring for Torres Finney, this is what was happening. Torres Finney shot in on the hips, pushed Valentin against the cage, and held him there. Held him there doing nothing. No true takedown attempts, no shots. Robert Valentin was elbowing the side of his head. And, so that fight goes to Robert Valentin, but obviously, refs are very stupid, and they gave it to Torres Finney. And I'll honestly, I'll probably never pick Torres Finney to win a fight in the UFC, just basically off of spite, bro. Fuck him. Fuck Torres Finney. I hope he loses. Hope he gets cut. That's a horrible. I mean, like, horrible fight style to have to watch, man. So brutal. But Jacob Malkoun, I think, is better anyway. I mean, Jacob Malkoun is coming off of a win over Andrei Arlovski, I think. This is the fight where Andrei got KO'd by nothing, by his hip. And then he lost to Cody Brundage, but it was DQ. I wonder what happened there. I forget what that fight looked like. And then he beat Nick Maximov. Lost to Brennan Allen by decision. Beat AJ Dobson, is that his name? And then beat Abdul Razak Hassan, These are not too good, but I mean, it should be enough to beat Torres Finney, Jacob Malkoun, I believe, was outstriking Andrei Arlovski before the hip KO anyway, so I think he's better on the feet than Torres Finney. And maybe Torres Finney has insanely long arms, as you could tell here. So maybe he can grab Jacob Malkoun and take him down and, hold him down. But I hope not. I'm going to go with Jacob Malkoun just because I think he is a better striker, I think, than Torres Finney. And he's just as good of a grappler, if not better. So, moving on to Cal Ralston versus Cody Brundage. I'm going Cam Ralston by knockout in round one. I picked Cam Ralston to beat Andrei Arlovski in his last fight. I think that's who he fought, right? Yeah. Andrei Petroski. I think I've been saying Andrei Arlovski, not the heavyweight. Andrei Petroski. I think I remember. I remember picking him to KO Andrei Petroski, and people online were calling me dumb. And then it happened. I'm like, all right, bro. Cam Ralston's decent, bro. He is decent, and I do think he's gonna also KO Cody Brundage in a round as well. It's gonna be brutal. Cody Brundage sucks, and he's not a good fighter. Never has been. The most impressive thing Cody Brundage has ever done is survive past round one versus Bo Nickel. He's awful. And Cam Rowson's pretty decent. He's long, lanky. He's a good he's a good striker with a good jab, and he's got okay power. Nothing crazy, but power that can put some people out. And Cody Brennan is of that level that will get knocked out by a guy like Cam Rowson. So I got Cam Rowson by KO. Moving on to Junior Tafa versus Billy Alicana. I don't need to explain nothing here. I have to explain nothing here. Billy Alicana is going to decimate Junior Tafa with ease. There's going to be no difficulty whatsoever for Billy Alicana. One of the easiest fights anyone's ever going to have this night. Maybe the easiest. Billy Alicana is just better. He's a better striker. He's a better grappler. He's a better wrestler. He's a better jiu-jitsu guy. He's got more power. I mean, he's literally... There's nothing that Junior Tafa even comes close to against Billy Alicana. This is going to be a round one decimation. It's going to look like the Kevin, whatever that tall Indian guy's name is, the tallest light heavyweight. He's going to drop Junior Tafa immediately and then sub him. No difficulty whatsoever. So... Nothing more needs to be said. Junior Tafa is horrible. He shouldn't be in the UFC. He's not good enough to be in the UFC. Neither is his brother. So they're just going to keep losing until they eventually get cut. Moving on to Quillen Salkild versus Jamie Mullarkey. Again, another fight that... What happened? Okay, I can't bring this fight up for some reason. So it has to stay here in this screen. Again, another fight that don't even need anybody to talk about. You know who's going to win this. Quillen Salkild is going to win this. Jamie Mullarkey is horrible. He's got no chin at all. And the fact that he didn't get chinned in his last fight is a miracle. And Quillen Salkild is really good. And he's likely going to become one of the better finishers and prospects in the lightweight division. Jamie Mullarkey is done for, bro. This is going to be another first round decimation. Like, he's going to decapitate Jamie Mullarkey in like a minute tops, I would imagine. I don't even need to talk. Dude, Jamie Mullarkey's been getting KO'd left, right, center, and Quillen Salkild just is coming off of that head kick KO over Nasrat Haqparast, someone that, Dan Hooker couldn't KO, someone that Esteban Ribovic couldn't KO. I mean, Quillen Salkild is probably, in my opinion, going to become a massive, massive KO artist in this division. So, and if you can't KO Jamie Mullarkey, you don't even deserve to be in the UFC, let alone be a KO artist of any sort. Quillen Salkild is going to destroy him. It's going to be bad. It's going to be real bad. I mean, Quillen Salkild, don't get me wrong. He didn't look that good against Yanel Lashimaz. And don't get me wrong, his stoppage win over Enshul Jubilee was one of the most earliest stoppages I've ever seen in my entire life. So after those two fights, after his first two fights, it's reasonable to say that you don't think Quillen Salkild is going to really be anything in the lightweight division. But after his last fight, head kick KOing Nasrat, was arguably like one of the nastiest KOs of all time. It's hard to look at that and not say, oh yeah, this kid's going to be something. It's hard to look at that and not say, oh yeah, well, this kid isn't going to KO Jamie fucking Mullarkey, who's known for getting KO'd by a gust of wind, So, Quillen Salkild by KO is the deal here. Moving on, Tai Tuivasa versus Taliesin Teixeira. I do want to mention this, and I'm gonna say it right now. There's a few fights on. Actually, I believe every fight after this, besides the Dan Hooker Benoit Saint-Denis fight, I actually don't have a prediction for, and I'm gonna come up with the prediction while I'm talking about it on screen. Because I'm actually not. I'm right at this moment. I'm not sure about these fights. I'm gonna talk about them, and then I'm gonna decide myself in this video who I think is gonna win. But for this fight, this is one of those fights. I mean, you get Tai Tuivasa versus Taliesin Teixeira. I mean, there's reasonable options to go for either. Tai Tuivasa, once on a massive KO streak, KO'd Derek Lewis, dropped Cyril Gane. Competitive fights with some other good guys, and you got Tyson Teixeira. He killed one of the Tafa brothers already off the rip. That's horrible. Second fight gets KO'd by Derek Lewis in like 20 seconds. Someone who Tai Tuivasa beat. But then again, you see Tai Tuivasa recently. He's bigger, fatter, slower in his last few fights. It's like, Tyson Teixeira being as tall as he is, and the fact that he's not even fat, he could definitely get this done. But I feel like I'm going to put trust in Tai Tuivasa, and it might be dumb. Tyson Teixeira, physically, he has the physical capabilities of someone that could be really good in the heavyweight division, but he's like a retard. Why would you go in there and fight Derek Lewis like that? You go in there and you fight Derek Lewis swinging bombs with Derek Lewis. Like you don't have that height advantage on him. Like he can't sneak in there and fucking get you on the chin, which is what he did. I mean, he doesn't fight smart at all. He's probably going to go in there and start banging it out with Tai Tuivasa. And Tai Tuivasa is going to catch him on the chin. Because if you're taller like this and you have this reach advantage on someone, you don't just go in there and just bang with them. You stay on the outside. You pop them with the jab, teep kicks, body kicks, on the outside, moving. Tyson Teixeira doesn't do that. If he did that, he'd probably beat Tai Tuivasa. He would probably, if he stayed on the outside, teep kicked him, jabbed him, played it safe, moved around, he'd probably beat Tai Tuivasa. But because he's probably going to go out there and start swinging like a retard, Tai Tuivasa is probably going to get in that pocket and fucking chin him. So I'm going to go with Tai Tuivasa because I believe he's a better banger than Tyson Teixeira, especially given banging is hard. Pause. Getting in the pocket and, banging it out in the phone pocket is harder when you're taller, lengthier, with a lot of reach. Because your opponent's shorter, they're stockier, they have shorter arms, so it's easier for them to really, come in, but I think they're going to go out there and I think they're going to have a fucking Max Holloway point down moment and just start brawling in the middle of the octagon, which I think that favors Tai Tuivasa. So I'm going to go with Tai Tuivasa by knockout in round 1, late round 1, probably mid round 1. I'm going to go Tai Tuivasa, man. If Tai Tuivasa loses this, at some point we have to consider cutting. He has a awful recently, so. But yeah, I'm going to go with Tai Tuivasa. Hopefully he makes the limit. He's been looking real big, man. Real big. So. Hopefully Tai Tuivasa makes weight and he wins. Moving on to Rafael Fiziev versus Mauricio Hufi. Another fight I haven't picked yet. But you know what? I'm going to go with Rafael Fiziev. I'm going to go with Rafael Fiziev. And strictly because he's got more dynamicness to his game. And he's fought better guys. Fought Justin Gaethje twice. Fought Mateus Gamrot, but did he really? And I'm going to make a take here, man. I think Ignacio Bahamondes is better than Mauricio Hufi. I thought Ignacio Bahamondes was going to beat Fiziev as well, but Fiziev beat him. And I think Bahamondes would beat Rufi, so. And Rufi, the thing is with Mauricio Hufi, outside of moments where he looks sensational, he's not amazing. Like, he'll show up and spinning wheel kick someone out cold. He'll show up and spinning wheel kick Bobby Green out cold. He'll show up and chin Jamie Malarkey. He'll show up and, do this. But when you make it to where he can't just go in there and just spinning wheel kick you, he's kind of just okay outside of that. And Rafael Fiziev is good, well-rounded, and even outside of moments where he looks amazing, he can still perform pretty decently. He went out there, banged it out with Justin Gaethje 2 different times. survived his uppercut. I mean, I don't think Mauricio Hoofy's going to go in there and just KO him and just sleep him. I don't see that. I see this being a competitive fight, and in competitive fights, I trust Hafal Fiziev more than I trust Mauricio Hoofy. You know? I think Fiziev would beat Benoit Saint-Denis. I think he would demolish Benoit Saint-Denis. Mauricio Hoofy lost to him. That's two people that Hafal Fiziev beat that I think would beat Hoofy. And I don't know. I don't see, if you're picking Mauricio Hoofy here, I'm gonna just say this: if you're picking Mauricio Hoofy, then you're also picking him to go in there and just sleep Fiziev in like a round. That's what you're picking if you pick Hoofy. Whereas if you're picking Fiziev, he can go in there, he could beat Hoofy by decision, he could beat Hoofy by TKO, he could beat Hoofy by this, by he just has more ways to win. He's more dynamic. He's got more to his game. He's got more experience. He's faster, in my opinion. Maybe not. Maybe we'll see who's faster here, but there's an argument for Fiziev being better. Now, Hoofy is more powerful. I do want to say that. That probably is the one thing he's got. He is more powerful. I just think his hands on average, his hands are more powerful than Fiziev's. Even his kicks as well. Like, he's just got more potential to have a knockout. But I don't think he's going to knock out Fiziev. That's all it is. And I know that Mauricio Hoofy has left the Fighting Nerds and he's out training with Volk, which could do him some good. Let's be real. Which could do him some good. If we go in there and we see a bit of Volk in him, we could be talking about something different. But we can't pick a fight. We can't solely pick a fight based off what he could look like next. Because you never know. So I'm gonna go with what I've seen and what I know of both guys. And of that, I think Hafal Fiziev's got it. I think he's got it, man. And Fiziev's he's smart, man. He ain't no retard. He doesn't go out there and throw it away. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Hafal Fiziev, man. Moving on to the co-main event. Dan Hooker versus Benoit Saint-Denis. I'm going Dan Hooker 100%. I was going to wear my Dan Hooker shirt, but I forgot for this video. I have a Dan Hooker shirt. Dan Hooker is my favorite lightweight. But there's no bias here. There was bias. There was bias when I picked Dan Hooker over Arman Tsarukyan. 1,000,000%. There was bias. That's all it was. Straight bias. But there's actually no bias. Benoit Saint-Denis just isn't that good. He's okay, but okay. You know what? Let's really talk about this shit. Are we gonna seriously see Benoit Saint-Denis? Yeah. Lose to Dustin Poirier. Come back, lose to get dominated, 10-8 in the first round by Renato Moicano, and then beat Kyle Prepolek. Okay? Nothing good there. Okay, he beat Mauricio Hoofy. Fair. He then KOs Beneil Dariush. I mean, other than submitting Mauricio Hoofy, who was unranked at the time, what has Benoit Saint-Denis really done in the UFC? Get 10-7'd by Zaleski dos Santos? You know? Beat Ismael Bonfim. I mean, come on. Like, these are not good fighters. Where's the good fighter that Benoit Saint-Denis beat? Where is he at? Like I said, Mauricio Hoofy win is fair. I'll give you that. Congratulations on being the 100th person to KO Beneil Dariush. Are we going to clap for that? I don't think so. Dan Hooker's going to go in there, and Dan Hooker's going to beat the shit out of him. Dan Hooker's got everything. He's got better wins. He's got more experience. He's much better on the feet. KO power. He ain't going to KO Dan Hooker. I don't think he's even gonna. He might take Dan Hooker down a couple times, but let's be real. Mateusz Gamrot is a better grappler. He's a better wrestler than Benoit Saint-Denis. Arman Jasharukian is millions of levels above Benoit Saint-Denis, and he almost got guillotined by Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker doesn't have the flexibility that Arman has. If he gets in a guillotine that Dan Hooker has, he's not gator rolling out of it. He's not gator rolling out of it at all. Ever. I struggle to see where Benoit Saint-Denis has success here. And this might come back to bite me, but it won't. Where's the success going to come from? He's not going to beat him up. He's not going to touch him on the feet. Let's be real. Dan Hooker had a 5-round war with Dustin Poirier. Dan Hooker, I believe he was going to beat Justin Gaethje. You know? Dan Hooker's got great knees up the middle. Benoit Saint-Denis is slow. That's another thing. He's so fucking slow. Whether he's striking or he's grappling, he's just slow. He moves like a turtle. I don't want this to turn into a Benoit Saint-Denis hate video. I just don't think he's good, man. I don't think he's good, and I never thought he was. Dan Hooker, yeah. Is tough as nails. Fought better grapplers and beat better grapplers. Obviously fought and beat better strikers. You know? It's just... I'm trying to predict this fight without sounding biased, but man, Dan Hooker, I think is just going to beat the shit out of him, really. If Benoit Saint-Denis goes out there and he beats Dan Hooker, he has improved his game. That's all it is. With the game that we've seen already from Benoit Saint-Denis, he's not beating Dan Hooker. He's going to have to go out there and show much improvements. And maybe he's made them. But I'm not gonna bank on that. Because what I've seen from him is not Dan Hooker level stuff. It's just not. Dan Hooker would easily KO Beneil Dariush. Dan Hooker would easily beat Kyle Prepelic. I think Dan Hooker would beat Mauricio Huffy. You know? In the striking. Which is what Benoit Saint-Denis couldn't do. Or wouldn't do. So. Dan Hooker's got the long range weapons. He's got a beautiful teep to the body. He's got beautiful body kicks in general. He's gonna wear down the body of Benoit Saint-Denis. Obviously his striking as a whole is better. He's got the guillotines that Benoit Saint-Denis shoots in for the hips. He's got the knees up the middle. And I'm sorry, but if Mateusz Gamrot isn't beating you with the grappling, Benoit's not doing it. If Jalen Turner isn't beating you with the striking, Benoit Saint-Denis is not doing it. So, I predict this fight will be like this. Dan Hooker comes out, drops Benoit early. Benoit shoots in for the hips, gets guillotined. Benoit gets out of it. They get back up to the feet. And then Benoit Saint-Denis is now hesitant to go for the takedowns because he was just almost guillotined last time. But after getting pieced up again on the feet, he decides to go in for the hips again, gets kneed up the middle. He's now wobbly, backed up against the cage. Dan Hooker's letting his hands go. Body, head, body, head. They separate. Dan Hooker's cautious. Benoit Saint-Denis starts panicking. Well, do I strike or do I shoot in for the hips? He shoots in for the hips, almost gets it. Dan defends, gets up, knees him to the body. They break. Dan Hooker starts putting his jabs on him. Breaks Benoit Saint-Denis, round 2. KOs him round 2. I'm going Dan Hooker, round 2 knockout. That's how I see the fight going. Right there. Defending the takedowns, punishing the takedowns, beating him up on the feet. And then knocking Benoit Saint-Denis out in round 2. Dan Hooker wins round 1, 10-9, and then gets a KO in round 2. I mean, it's just how it's gonna go, you know. Benoit Saint-Denis is not that guy, and I've been saying it. I remember winning a lot of money on I put like $25 on Dustin Poirier by knockout against Benoit Saint-Denis. Because he was the underdog against Benoit Saint-Denis. The underdog, Dustin Poirier. And I'm like, ooh, $25. Put it down, put it in. And I won money. I forgot how much I won. But at the time, it was nice. It was nice. Because I was very broke. But, I mean, you know. Dan Hooker's gonna go in there and knock him out, man. My boy Dan Hooker. He's too durable, man. Benoit Saint-Denis, I mean, the one thing about Dan Hooker is he's been consistently one of the most durable guys in the lightweight division. The Michael Chandler KO is an anomaly in his career. Okay, the Edson Barbosa fight, that is durability. Okay? Getting whooped like that and taking that long to get KO'd is ridiculous, to be honest. And Dan Hooker and Edson Barbosa was really good at that point. And then just durable 5-round war against Poirier. Benoit Saint-Denis not gonna touch Dan Hooker on the feet, man. You know. So that's all it is. That's my prediction for this fight. Dan Hooker's got it in the bag. Moving on to the main event of the evening. Another fight that I don't know who I'm picking at this moment. Dude, I spent like 20 minutes talking about the co-main event. Wow. Alexander Volkanovski versus Diego Lopes. I don't know, bro. Because on one side, Volkanovski beat him before. He beat him last time. Right? So obviously, picking Alexander Volkanovski is reasonable. That's very reasonable. It's Alexander Volkanovski. And Diego Lopes admitted to caring too much about the knockout. Chasing the knockout. And he almost got it. He dropped Volk at the end of round 2. Volk never let that happen again. And Diego Lopes was just winging super hard in that fight. Easy to counter. But he said there's no pressure on him this time. He's been here before. He's just going to go out there, have fun, not chase a knockout, let the knockout come to him. And that is so dangerous, man, because Diego Lopes is one of the best finishers in this division. And those are the kind of guys I do worry. About for Alexander Volkanovski. Someone that can shut your lights out at any moment. Diego Lopes can shut his lights out all 5 rounds. Whereas Volk, man, he's not going to KO Diego Lopes. He's not going to submit Diego Lopes. He has to win by decision. Volk has to look pretty much perfect for 25 minutes. Or at least 15 to win 3 rounds. Whereas Diego Lopes, man, we said this going in the first fight, but he does only need just one moment. He needs 10 seconds of greatness, and Volk's out of there. I don't know, bro. But I feel like, God, my hair is crazy, dude. I need a shower. I'm showering right after this video. I really don't know. I'm going to go. I feel like whoever I pick here, it's going to be the opposite. That's one of these things here. This is one of those fights where you just feel like whoever you pick, it's going to be the opposite. I just don't know if I see Diego Lopes failing twice, man. He's so good and he's so dangerous. I picked Volk the first time. I picked Volk the first time. I just don't know if I trust Volk to beat him again, man. Sounds like I'm going with Sounds like I'm going with Diego Lopes, man. Sounds like I'm going with Diego Lopes. Man. I'm going with I don't know. I don't know. Man, it's Volk. It's Volk. Man. I should have thought about this before I made the video. I'm gonna go I'm gonna go safe and go Volk. I can't. I can't choose against Volk. It's Volk, man. 5 rounds with Islam Makhachev, you know? Man, this is very tough. This is very tough. Um I'm gonna, you know what? Enough of this. I'm gonna cut the video and then come back when I have my prediction. All right. I have talked with myself, and I am officially picking Diego Lopes. Diego Lopes. I just think that I mean Volkanovski's already set in his ways. He's got his skill set, and Volkanovski's not really gonna add anything to his game, especially since his next loss is probably his last fight ever. Um, whereas Diego Lopes is still younger, and he has a lot more room for the thing is I knew Volk was winning the first fight because Volk is just better, but Diego Lopes has much more room for improvement. Diego Lopes can build off of his last performance against Volk than Volk can on his last performance against Diego Lopes. So, and he did drop Volk the first time. He did drop him, and that's step one. He's already felt Volk out. He's felt them out. He knows what it's like to be in there with Volk now. So now he's not going to be caught by surprise by the movement or the elusiveness by Volkanovski. He knows it's there, and I know I bet everything that he has I bet everything that he has worked to fix that and to combat that. So, and Volk's older. At some point, you got to lose, right? And I'm gonna go with Diego Lopes this time around. I picked Volk first time. I'm picking Diego second time. It's just how I feel. I think Diego Lopes can. I think he's gonna knock Volkanovski out. Don't get me wrong. He's gonna be getting schooled again. But 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 Diego Lopes can get it done, and I'm gonna actually go. I'm gonna actually go round two, which is where he knocked down Volk the first time. I think he finishes Volk this time around. So this could be so bad. This could be such a bad prediction, but I can't get the image out of my head of Diego Lopes chinning Volkanovski. He definitely can. And him being able to improve upon himself more than Volk can this next time around is really what's and Volk, although he's good, he is predictable. You kind of know how he's gonna fight. Diego Lopes is a bit more unpredictable. Um, so I'm gonna go with Diego Lopes. I'm gonna go Diego Lopes by round two knockout here. Um, there's so many instances where he can hurt Volkanovski. He can hurt Volkanovski at range because Diego Lopes is just a good fighter and he's rangy. He can definitely hurt him up close, especially in the clinch. If he starts landing some elbows or those uppercuts that he loves to land in the clinch, I could see them hurting Volkanovski. He can hurt him with knees, spinning attacks. Um, I don't see either guy having grappling success though. I don't think Volkanovski is going to really be able to control Diego Lopes, and Diego Lopes isn't going to be able to control Volkanovski. So this is going to be, there may be some takedowns here or there by either of them. It don't matter. There might be some takedowns thrown around, but they're going to get defended, or it's going to last to like 2 to 5 seconds of control before they get up. This is going to mainly be a striking fight like it was the first time around. And I just think Volk has to be so good for way longer than Diego Lopes has to be. And Diego Lopes is building, he's still improving, he's younger, you know? And I don't see Diego Lopes I think he's a pretty smart guy. I don't see him falling into the same trap of letting himself get picked apart by Volk that he did in the first time. So I mean, I sat here by myself for a while thinking about this, and I see Volk get knocked out. I see Diego cleaning his chin, so which is sad because I was going with Volk the entire build up. As soon as it was redone, I'm like, oh my god, Volk's gonna just get him again, and Volk's too good. He's too fast. He's too clean. He's too elusive. He's literally, in my opinion, Volk is arguably the most skilled UFC fighter we've ever seen. And because of that, it's like, oh well, Volk's just gonna get him again. But and I thought Volk was gonna win for months after this was, you know, announced. But I'm sitting here just thinking, man, I just feel like Diego can catch him, man. I really feel like he can. So, and the surprise element of Volk's elusiveness is gone. Diego's been in there with him, man. And he's caught him before. That's the thing. Diego Lopes caught him, but he's already caught him. Volk just survived. If Diego Lopes can catch you one time, he can catch you again. He can catch you a second time. And I don't know if he's going to let Volk up this time. Or he's going to... Well, he didn't let Volk up, but you know what I mean. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go Diego Lopes. But I'm fighting it again. I'm fighting it again. Oh my god. I'm fighting it again inside my head. um I just feel like that this is going to be one of those sad moments. Volk having to rematch Lopes instead of getting a fresh matchup in his home country. Gets chinned. I just see it. Well, that's going to be the end of this video. This video is way longer than I thought it would be, considering I didn't even have a breakdown for the first 10 fights of the card. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Official prediction. You know what? Let's go over my predictions here. All right, so we're going Aaron Toe, Lawrence Louis, Sebastian Cizale, Dom Marfan, Con Offley, Jonathan McKelliff, Jacob Malkoon, Cam Rouston, Billy Elikana, Quillen Sakil, Tatu Ivasa, Hafal Fiziev, Dan Hooker, and Diego Lopes is what I'm picking. All right. I appreciate you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys think. If you agree, if you disagree. So yeah, all right. I'm about to head out of here. Bye. I'm rooting for Volk though. Let's go Volk.